also to help you and support you the initiatives of WynActive and Women's City. Hi, and welcome to Series 1, Episode 9 of the WynActive Webcast. I want to say world famous, but we're not quite there yet. And it's great to have you on board again, and thanks for joining in. And we've got another great episode for you today. My co-host, the man that is quickly getting a reputation as the sex symbol of Wyndham, I'd like to introduce James Robertella.
Oh, geez, I don't know if I go that far, Barry. And look, you know, it's been an exciting time these past couple of weeks, and thank you again for having us on. And yeah, very excited for another edition of our WynActive webcasts. And again, further to that, very excited to introduce our very special guest today, Alison Dixon, Chief Executive Officer of WynActive. Welcome, Alison, to the WynActive webcast.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Barry. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thanks.
Hey, look, it really is our pleasure to have you, Alison, and being the leader of Western Leisure Services, or WynActive. You know, I thought it only appropriate that certainly you come on board and as for people to get to know you as well. So I think for me, the first question I'd like to ask you is there's Western Leisure Services and WynActive, and sometimes they get confused. Can you clarify for everyone what the difference is, if there is a difference?
Yes, sure, Barry, I can. So Western Leisure Services is the name of the company. So that's the company that employs the staff. And that we operate the three centres that we currently operate. WynActive is the external name, or the external facing name. So that's what our members and the community will know us as, and that's the difference.
Very good.
That's
very
brilliant,
good.
Alison. And look, we've seen, you know, during these times, a lot of businesses and organisations pivot to the current challenges out there, and WynActive's been the same, and it's been fantastic to see what the team at WynActive have been able to produce for the community across these past weeks and now months, I suppose. What can you maybe elaborate on some of the elements of what WynActive have done since, you know, the centres in particular have closed recently?
Yeah, sure I can. So it's been, I think it's about 6 weeks now, and I have to say, just blown away by the level of innovation, ideas and activation of the team at WynActive. So there's a lot that's been going on, both behind the scenes, but also in front of the scenes. Behind the scenes, the team activated really quickly to shut down the buildings, so that we are conserving energy and utilities, and but preserving the assets, so that when we come back, whenever that might be, that the assets are ready to be ramped up again, and we can get our members coming back in the doors as quickly as we can. And all the behind the scenes efforts that go with that. In terms of the public facing work that's been done, again, blown away by the innovation. So we've had programs like our Connect program, where our team are contacting members, welfare check-in just to see how they're going, and the response from the members to that program has been wonderful. The Find Your 30 program, where we are bringing live and recorded fitness videos to the public every day, including the weekends, and just to try and mix that up in terms of the quality, quantity, diversity of the programs that we're trying to provide to the public. And that's not just to our members, but it's to the broader Wyndham community, because we quickly realised that we have a broader role to play here in the community and helping people to stay active. We talk about building healthy lives, but that's not just about healthy lives for our members. It's what we aspire to do for every member of the community, and getting them active and healthy. So there's been a lot of work in that area as well, in amongst lots of other innovative programs and ideas that we've been trying to develop to bring to the community.
Alison, great programs. Obviously, I know them well, and James has been integral into the Find Your 30, Do It Your Way campaign as well. What's some of the feedback that you've heard through either the staff or through email, the website or whatever, that you're aware of from the community?
Yeah, sure. In terms of the Connect program, the feedback, so I think every week the team summarise some of the phone calls that they've had to the members of the community. For some of the community, that's one phone call, or perhaps the only phone call that they've received that week, and the gratitude just to be called to talk about how hard it is staying at home, if they've managed to buy some toilet paper, whatever that might be. And other people have said, really appreciate the call. Don't need you to call back. I have a lot of support myself, but it's a fantastic initiative, so thank you. So I think overwhelmingly the feedback on that programme has been so positive, and in turn the team members that are making these calls really feel they're making a difference. So it has had a real impact on them in terms of their morale, their motivation, and their well-being, I would say. In terms of the Find Your 30, Do It Your Way programme, again, we're getting hundreds and thousands of clicks in terms of our offering, and we get great feedback from the community about, this is fantastic, love what you're doing. Perhaps could you do a Pilates next week, or could you do some stretching exercises for those of us who might not be quite as physically fit as others. So that two-way dialogue's been really valuable for us. And as I said, the feedback has been wonderful.
I know that, and I've heard a lot of it as well, and certainly the phone calls, James, are really resonating with the WynActive members and the community, and the number of clicks on some of the especially the live group fitness that we're producing has been amazing. James, have you seen them at all?
I have, and I've participated in a couple as well, Barry. I think we've touched on the yoga and the Pilates previously. But look, I think that you raise a really good point, Alison, in that you've been able to pivot really quickly and listen to the feedback out there and produce different content. And we're seeing the little videos in the afternoon where it's an opportunity for people to try something different, really, and use this time effectively. And hearing the great feedback from the calls and the touch points during the week that people might have with WynActive and the team is fantastic. And that I'm sure they're very appreciative of that from everyone out there.
Yeah, and I think it's our members that are used to regular exercise, and they're enjoying them. But there's also, I think, another cohort of the community who perhaps don't exercise as often, and this is an opportunity for them to have a look at what's out there, see what they can manage themselves, and get that little bit fitter or healthier, which is excellent.
Fantastic. As James is certainly aware, and our guests are aware, and I think you'll also understand, Alison, we like to look at the positives on this webcast, and one way we do that is to tell everyone what we're grateful for today. So my question to you, Alison, is what are you grateful for today?
What am I grateful for? Right. Well, I'll talk personally, and then I'll talk professionally, maybe.
Beautiful.
So personally, I'm very grateful for that my family and friends and are safe, healthy, and well. So, excuse me, I'm certainly grateful of that. I'm very grateful of technology. So you can probably tell from my accent that I didn't start in Australia, and my family are all overseas. So the technology to be able to keep in contact with them is I didn't realise how much I rely on that technology until times like this. So very, very grateful for that, and personally grateful that I live in a country like Australia, and in this really challenging, difficult time that we're in. Compared to some other countries that are really doing it tough, I'm very thankful that I live somewhere like Australia and in Victoria. Professionally, despite the fact that this is the most challenging time of my professional career, I'm very grateful that I'm in a job that I absolutely love. I love my job. I love coming to work. I love the people I work with. I love our members. So it's I'm very grateful that I have a job like that. And I'm grateful for the team that we have at WynActive. Every day I'm not surprised, but blown away again by the innovation, the attitude, the commitment. When these, our team members will be doing it tough, like everybody is in their personal lives, and the team just inspire me every day. So very grateful for the team.
That's great, and a comprehensive answer. But you're right, we all have so much to be thankful for. James, what are you grateful for today?
Look, Barry, in the past I've been grateful for those smaller things, and today I'm very grateful for one of the biggest parts in my life, my partner Louise, and really am grateful for her support during this time, for the willingness to try some different things, whether it be get on and try a live class of something different, for taking the time to do a new recipe on the weekend and plan for that. So look, and for being at home and putting up with me, really, I'm grateful for that. So I don't think, I think this time would be a lot more challenging if, those people around you weren't there. So yeah, very grateful for that element. Barry, I'll throw it over to you today. What are you finding that you're grateful for?
Well, I've taken your lead a little bit on looking at the small things and being grateful for that as well as the big things. But I was riding my exercise bike this morning, and I suddenly realised how thankful I am I've got it. I purchased it a few years ago. It's quite a good one. But sometimes you lack motivation or you're a bit sore or whatever, but it never bothers me to hop on my exercise bike. And I've got a number of different workouts that I do on that, but I can just go into the garage, jump on the exercise bike, put my headphones on, listen to music, listen to a podcast, watch a Netflix show or whatever. And I get my exercise in, I get my activity in. And it's only because I've got that. We've got a number of weights and a bench out there, and you can do bodyweight exercises, but I just find it so much easier to get onto my exercise bike and enjoy that as well. So it really helps set me up for the day. So that's what I'm grateful for today as well.
Brilliant.
In this time of social isolation, when we've heard from a number of people now, Alison, about how they're coping and little tips they've got. What tips have you got for surviving, keeping going, staying positive in this time where we're really stuck at home?
Yeah, thanks, Barry. Yeah, and you're right. This last few months has been filled, for me, certainly filled with highs and lows, and just trying to keep positive during the lows, and looking after yourself. And as many of us are working quite long hours at the moment to make sure this business recovers the way we want it to and get our members back. So I think the tips for me, I personally, at the minute it's light in the morning, I'm out walking with my dogs. So whether that's, it doesn't matter if it's raining, hailing or warm, I'm out there pounding the pavement with the dogs. And that gives me my half an hour or 45 minutes of just time to think and process. I think the other, so that's for me. So I'd say the tip there is just make sure you take time out to look after yourself in all of this. The other, sorry, I've forgotten the track. So that's important. I think the other thing is just to give yourself permission and not to be perfect. So I said to the team at the start, this is new territory. None of us have been here before. Hopefully we're not here again. But so this is not going to be perfect. It's going to be the best that we can do in the circumstances. And I think telling myself that and giving myself permission not to be perfect and to make the best decisions I can, whether that's in my professional job or whether that's in my family situation. But the best decisions, we can always revisit them if they weren't right. We can go back and have a look and see what's changed that makes that decision different. But just give yourself a bit of a chop out, I think, is a tip I would give.
I really like that, and we haven't heard that before, James. Give yourself permission not to be perfect. What a great outlook, because none of us are. We all probably do a little bit of eating too much, or in my case, I drink too much coffee and or whatever. But isn't it? It's almost liberating.
I agree, and I think the way you've put it, Alison, is it resonates with me personally, and I think a lot of people can probably take that one away. And again, it's not about it's about I suppose that learning curve and taking this opportunity to we've talked about trying something different, and in future you'll be able to look back on this and say, hey, these are the steps that potentially I could have taken, but I am here for all the right reasons. And I think that the point that you raise is a wonderful one, and certainly we'll look to take that on board personally moving forward myself.
So Barry, maybe 1 or 2 less coffees a day, but apart from that, perfect.
No, it's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now.
You might have to ride your bike in the afternoon, Barry, if you.
Well, that too, but no, I really enjoy my coffees. But yeah, Alison, you're a leader, and WynActive has a staff of approximately 350 from memory, which is a lot of people. Going to this time as a leader, you've had to make a number of hard decisions. How do you make those hard decisions? What do you base your decision making on? Is there something or some way you do that?
Yes, there is, Barry. So for me, some time ago, I developed guiding principles for myself. So it's about me as a person, what I stand for, what's important to me, what my values are, and they just I don't look at them very often, but they're there, and they sit on my shoulder, and that's what guides me, I guess, through my life. And during normal business, these are normally things you don't even have to refer to, because they're just there, and they're just the way we do things. In a situation like we've been in the last 6 weeks, and there have been some very difficult decisions that I've had to make, and some very difficult decisions by others that I've had to then accommodate, JobKeeper being one of them. So really testing yourself about how are you going to make decisions that will affect people's lives, and making sure that these decisions are based on principles rather than picking staff, for example, who will be stood down. So as an example, in WynActive, we've said for many years since we started that our permanent workforce and our casual workforce are equally as important. They are the backbone of the organisation, and therefore to make a decision to stand down someone based on their employment status is not something that we did. It's about basing that on meaningful employment and where we need the staff the most, and that sort of thing has guided the decisions. But also making sure what we stand for. We're here to build healthy lives, and making sure our decisions are based around that for the community and our members and our staff. So that it's about having principles and living these principles, role modeling the principles, because when we get back to business and back to normal, being able to live with yourself that you have made these decisions based on principles, and being as fair, equitable as we can is very important to me. So I think that's what's guided me through the most difficult times in particular.
It's an interesting one, isn't it, James, with the principles, and we all have probably similar but different sort of principles, but using those to engage in decision making, both personally and professionally. I'm sure you do it as well.
Yes, and I think it's a great point, Alison, that you make, that it's not something that you keep referring back to consistently, but it's something that you live and breathe, and it has that personal connection for you. So it's something to hang your hat on, and these are difficult times, and those are finding the guiding lights, essentially, that as you've put, is a great way to move forward and take those necessary steps.
How, Alison, in making some of these hard decisions, and you're right, they have a major implication, and leaders right across the country are having to do this, having major implications on people's lives, like not only now, but potentially for years. What's the reaction been like from one, the staff, but two, our members as well, because we've got over 9,000 members.
So I think the reaction from the staff, again, it's one of these things. I'm blown away by the reaction of our staff in terms of their understanding, their acceptance, and when I'm having to communicate some of these decisions, the number of staff that have come back to me saying, "Are you okay?" Which is again, it just blows me away, and I just think our team are wonderful. So it's sorry, the question again, Barry?
How have they reacted, the staff and members?
Yeah. So the staff have reacted. I want to use the word positively. It's not a positive situation by any stretch of the imagination, but their reaction, they are grateful. So we talked about grateful. They're grateful that WynActive has been able to pay them for as long as we have, and they're grateful for the communication. So we talk about communication. It can be a bit of a throwaway line. It's very difficult to get right. What is too much? What is not enough? What is the right time? What is the right place? Made even more complicated by the fact that we can't gather everybody into a room together and tell them face to face. We have to do it through this sort of means. But without exception, the staff have been understanding and accepting, and looking forward to coming back. So I think that despite the fact we know this is a really difficult, challenging time, we know it's not going to go on forever, and they are really looking forward to coming back as I am. And a similar reaction from the members. The members, we've had a number of members say, I'm happy to keep paying my membership, even though we can't deliver the services we normally deliver it. But our members are not just names on membership cards. Our members, we know our members. The team know our members. Many of them by first name, and they know a little bit about their life and their families. So it's a community within our centres, and the members again have been very supportive of everything we've done, and they too are looking forward to when they can come back and we can greet them at the doors and welcome them back into the pool, the gym, the stadium, the outdoor pool, wherever that might be. So the reaction has been I'm blown away.
I see it firsthand as well, Alison. You jump on the WynActive Facebook page whenever there's a class, and you just see the commentary around how much the members are missing a particular instructor, or how much they enjoyed about that particular class. And I think those are the small things that we've got to capture and embrace, and that puts a smile on your face, I'm sure, as the leader of WynActive.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this time when things are tough and challenging and difficult, it's having that light at the end of the tunnel, and knowing that we will be back bigger and stronger, and we look forward to welcoming our staff and our members back into the centres.
Fantastic. I just want to say, I hope, James, you've got an insight into Alison and her leadership style. It makes me very proud to be able to say that Alison is my leader at at WynActive and inspires me, just about every day in all our interactions. And I sincerely mean that. And that's why I was so keen to have you on, Alison. And you've really, you've expressed yourself incredibly well. So thank you. Thanks very much for coming on today and being so open and honest with us.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks, James. It's been a pleasure, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Alison.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you, everyone. Look, once again, another magnificent WynActive webcast. We look forward. We've got lots of more guests for you for the rest of this week, and we look forward to talking to you then, talking to our guests. Stay well, stay healthy, look after each other, and most of all, keep smiling.